Hello guys, this is Danger Dongara, going to teach you chemical equations, नहीं chemical reactions and equations. तो चालू किया जाए. इस वीडियो को ध्यान से देखिएगा.
A very interesting way to learn about chemistry is cooking, as there are a lot of similarities between chemistry and cooking. You must be wondering how. We know chemistry is the science of matter and it deals with conversion of one form of matter into another. Cooking also deals with conversion of one form of matter into another. Most importantly, both of these involve mixing of substances. Sometimes the substances can be separated out, while sometimes they change altogether into a new substance. That is what is known as a chemical change. So based on this information, let us see what changes occur when a candle is lit. So as we can see, when a candle is lit, light is given out, heat is given out, and the wax of the candle starts to melt. The color of wick of the candle also changes. As we can see, a lot of smoke is also coming out. Now, if I would have allowed the candle to light for a few more minutes, the wick would have fallen off. Can we bring back the wick of the candle to its original form? No, we cannot. So this definitely is a chemical change. So based on these observations and investigations, we can conclude a chemical change is that change which leads to formation of new substances, and these changes usually cannot be undone.
चलो इसकी बकवास खत्म हो गई. अब मैं समझाता हूँ. A chemical change can be confirmed by any or all of the following observations. Chemical change मतलब chemical reaction में ये चार चीज़ जो आपको दिख रही है, ये तो होनी ही है. और उसके बाद आप ये सब पढ़ के समझ सकते हैं. पॉज करके पढ़ लेना. चलो अभी मैं आगे आपको दूसरी वीडियो दिखाता हूँ. चलो चलते हैं. अभी इसको ध्यान से देख लीजिएगा.
In the previous video, we discussed about chemical changes and their characteristics. And we know that these changes occur all the time within our body and all around us as well. So how do we study these changes? In chemistry, usually all the chemical changes are represented in the form of chemical reaction.
एक मिनट कैसे बोलते? In chemistry बोलना आता है कि नहीं? अब इसकी बकवास सुनने के अलावा हमारे पास कोई चारा नहीं है. फोकट की पढ़ाई तो ऐसी होती है ना. सुन लो अभी.
Now, reaction term is used to depict change or transformation in which a substance either decomposes to a new substance or combines with other substances or exchanges its constituents with other substances. And as we said that every chemical change is represented by a chemical reaction, this chemical reaction is basically an equation. So in this equation, the chemical species undergoing the change or transformation are called reactants, and the species obtained after the change of transformation are called products. So a general chemical reaction can be represented as reactants changing into products, the arrow sign depicting the direction of the reaction from reactants to products. Now let us understand how to write a chemical reaction using an example. So let's take the example of photosynthesis. What happens in photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide and water inside the plants combines to give us glucose and oxygen gas. So in chemical equation for this change, we will use the molecular formulae of each species. That is carbon dioxide, water, glucose and oxygen gas. So carbon dioxide plus water becomes our reactants. Then we'll write a sign of arrow to denote the change or transformation, and finally the products, which are glucose and oxygen. Now in a chemical reaction, it is very important to denote the physical state of reactants as well as products. So in this case, carbon dioxide is in gaseous state, water is in liquid state, glucose is obtained as solution, and oxygen is released as gas. Now these physical states are enclosed within a bracket. So this is how we write a chemical reaction. Now the necessary conditions, for example in case of photosynthesis, is presence of sunlight. These type of conditions are denoted above the sign of arrow. Now any chemical reaction is incomplete without giving the information of how many molecules of each reactant is required to give a certain number of molecules of products. So we have to include that information as well. So for photosynthesis, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide reacts with 6 molecules of water to give you 1 molecule of glucose and 6 molecules of oxygen gas. So this is how we write a complete chemical reaction.
अच्छा, तो तुम्हें इनकी बकवास पसंद आ रही होगी, लेकिन मुझे बिल्कुल नहीं पसंद आ रही, इसके लिए मैं आगे बढ़ रहा हूँ। ये कुछ मेन सिंबल के एलिमेंट्स है, याद कर लेना। और आगे बढ़ते हैं क्वेश्चंस आस्क्ड इन प्रीवियस इयर्स बोर्ड एग्जाम। अभी एग्जाम का टेंशन क्यों लेना है, अभी छोड़ो इसको क्वेश्चन आप देख लेना पॉज करके, और उसके बाद ये इसकी सॉल्यूशन देख लियो। अभी मैं आगे बढ़ता हूँ, मेरे को कंटाला आ रहा है, टाइम पास करने का बिल्कुल मन नहीं है। आपको दूसरी वीडियो दिखाता हूँ। दूसरी वीडियो किधर है? ये सारा वीडियो ही नहीं देता है। एग्जाम्स, बोर्ड एग्जाम्स, अभी से एग्जाम का टेंशन देखो। अभी क्या होएगा 10th में पता नहीं। डिस्प्लेसमेंट रिएक्शंस, ये क्या है? ये बोर्ड एग्जाम का क्वेश्चन है। डिकम्पोजिशन बाय लाइट, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी। अरे छूट गया यार, मैं दिखा देता हूँ तुम लोग को वीडियो में। हाँ, बोर्ड एग्जाम के क्वेश्चंस तो नहीं। अरे काम का वीडियो है। चलो, let's play this.
Reactions in which 2 or more compounds combine to produce only one product are known as combination reactions. And these reactions are also accompanied by release of energy. Therefore, they are exothermic in nature. Let us perform an activity. Take some water in a beaker and fix a thermometer in it. Now, add small amount of calcium oxide to the beaker. You will observe that the temperature of water increases rapidly. Now this happens because calcium oxide combines vigorously with water to produce calcium hydroxide. A large amount of heat is also released during this process, which increases the temperature of this system.
भाई पहली बार मुझे केमिस्ट्री थोड़ी भी दिमाग में घुसी है। चलो, आप ही के साथ मैं भी समझ रहा हूँ केमिस्ट्री। चलो अभी दूसरे उसमें जाते हैं। मुझे जितना पता है उतना आपको बता रहा हूँ, और आपको जितना पता है उससे मेरे को क्या करना है। चलो दूसरी वीडियो देखते हैं।
Have you ever given a thought on how elephants keep their teeth clean? Well, they use a toothpaste. But I wonder how much amount of toothpaste would they need to keep those long tusks clean. So it's quite easy for them as they use what is known as the elephant's toothpaste. Wait, what? An elephant's toothpaste? Jokes apart, this is the name given to the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide using the solution of potassium iodide as a catalyst, with a little amount of soap as well. So when we say decomposition, we mean something breaks to form something new. And in this particular example, since we are talking about decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, it is a very unstable compound. It spontaneously breaks into water and oxygen. Now, under normal conditions, this decomposition is very slow. However, some substances like the solution of potassium iodide can be added to speed up the process. And if the reaction mixture contains a small amount of soap, you get a lovely huge ball of foam which is given the name of elephant's toothpaste. This is a brilliant example of decomposition reaction. So we can say that in decomposition reactions, a single compound breaks into one or more compounds or elements. Now these reactions are generally driven by an energy source, and depending on the energy source required, they are classified into different groups. So for the classification of decomposition reactions, watch the next video in the lesson.
चिंता नहीं, मैं दिखा दूंगा आपको नेक्स्ट वीडियो फोकट में, लेकिन लाइक करिएगा जरूर मेरी वीडियो को। चलो देखो दूसरी बकवास।
Alright, today I have a question for you. Do you know which gas is very essential for humans or animals to survive on Earth?
I don't know.
Yes, it's the oxygen gas. And how was this gas discovered? So this gas was discovered by Joseph Priestley in the year 1774. What did he actually do? Let us try and simulate that. So what he did is, he took some mercuric oxide and heated it. The heat broke mercuric oxide into liquid mercury and oxygen gas. Now at that point of time, it was not known that the gas being evolved is oxygen gas. Oxygen is a good supporter of combustion. So to test it, he brought a burning splinter near the evolving gas. And what he observed, that the flame of the splinter increased, and thus he could prove that oxygen gas was being evolved. Now, did you notice one very essential thing for this reaction? So this reaction was driven by heat. And when I say that this reaction was driven by heat, it implies that heat broke or decomposed mercuric oxide into its constituent elements like mercury and oxygen. So this reaction is a perfect example of decomposition by heat. So if you remember that in the previous video we had discussed that decomposition reaction are driven by an energy source. In this case, the energy source was heat. So on the basis of the energy source, we have the first type of decomposition reaction that is known by decomposition by heat.
चलो हो गई इसकी बकवास। अब मेरा सर फटने लग गया, मैं भी आप जैसे ही बच्चा हूँ, आप ही के साथ पढ़ते आ रहा हूँ। अभी इसके बाद का टॉपिक मैं बाद में लेता हूँ। आप इसके बाद वाली वीडियो मतलब मेरे पार्ट 2 वीडियो में दूसरी वीडियोस देख लियो। चलो बाय।